feel about it as Brady started his second dynasty in Tampa?
No, Skip, it's too early to tell. And if you make me say yes or no, I'm going to say no. There's a reason why no team hadn't repeated in 16 years, because it's hard to do. And you see injuries are a big part of this. So because we saw what happened to the Chiefs' offensive line, they lose basically 3 starters, and they're not the same team that they took to the Super Bowl the previous year. They're not even the same Super Bowl that finished the AFC Championship game. So injuries play a key role in this. Plus, a lot of things have to go well. The injuries during the course of the season. Now, I don't believe the pandemic. I think we're getting more and more vaccines in arm. And as President Biden was talking about last night, says, hey, I expect a packed house for Super Bowl 56. Hopefully that's the case, Skip. Where is Super Bowl 56?
SoFi here.
Oh, yeah. I got to be. Oh, we're going to be up there in SoFi. SoFi in the house. I will be right over there in SoFi. And plus, Skip, if you think about it, they got Shaq Barrett's a free agent, Levante David. I believe they might have priced themselves out of contracts in Tampa, although they might be willing to take less money to come back and compete for a Super Bowl. But Shaq Barrett, considering that he was an undrafted free agent, and I don't think he's going to leave any money on the table. Levante David, that might be something. And Ndamukong Suh, Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown, Gronk. I believe a couple of those guys you can get back on the cheap. But, Skip, they only have 30 guys under contract for next year. The next closest to that is 42 in the NFL. So of their 53-man roster, only 30 are under contract. So who comes, who goes, it's so hard to repeat because the turnover is so great. Now, what we know right now, for the most part, all the coaches are coming back. Todd Bowles didn't get a job. Byron Leftwich didn't get a job. And so for what we can see right now, Skip, the coaching staff will be back in full.
There was some speculation that Bruce Arians, if they won this one, would cede the head coaching to Todd Bowles and maybe either be in the background or walk into the sunset. I think this was such a heady experience for him. At his age, he'd say, I got to take another shot.
Hey, Skip, you waited 68 years to get this position. Because you remember, Dick Vermeil did that, and he later regretted it. He came back out of retirement and ended up coaching Kansas City because he felt he made a decision out of emotion that was the wrong decision. So maybe if BA sits back a couple of months, Skip, but it's hard to repeat. There's a reason why there have only been a handful of teams in the last 30 years that's ever done it. Because it's so hard. The Cowboys did it, we did it, and the Patriots did it. So it doesn't happen very often. So if you put my feet to the fire today, I'm going to say no. You're going to have to see how this thing plays out. Who comes, who goes, and the injury history.
You do not have to put my feet to the fire for me to tell you, yes, he is starting his second dynasty. He's off to the races in Tampa Bay. First of all, I believe he chose Tampa Bay in part because he saw, wait a second, no team has ever played a home Super Bowl, and we got a shot this year. Even in a pandemic year, if we could turn this thing around, I could bring it to a boil by December, we'd have a shot. They took it, they did it. It's history. First team ever to win a home Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Way to go. What did he say last week, Tom Brady? He said, we will be better next year. Can you argue with him? Because it's the second time around. He had to throw this thing together on the fly, throw AB in at midseason. There was no preseason. Everything had to be done in fast motion, and now it's all starting to click in place. Do you think Tom Brady will take it any easier next year than he did this year? Do you think he'll back off? Do you think he'll be taking days off? No, he won't. No. He'll be just as driven next year as he was this one. What's the other thing that's never been done in the National Football League? And I know I'm going to jump way out there on this one, but nobody has ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row, right? I thought you guys had a real shot, and your quarterback said no, right? And it shocked me because I thought, John Elway, you got to at least give your team one shot. But he'd hit the wall physically. He was done.
And the plus the thing is, Skip, the mental grind that a quarterback.
I know.
I'm not talking about any other player. I'm saying the mental grind for a quarterback to put that kind of time in. You hear Tom Brady saying Tom Brady starts study sessions on Mondays at 5 a.m., where he's been probably doing this for the better part of 13, 14 years. It kind of man, that's tough.
Okay, so I got you that there are these players who are still up in the air. You've got Obviously, Fournette, you're going to bring him back at what price?
We'll skip it. It's not going to be that much. Running backs, I mean, first of all, Derrick Henry ran for, did what he did and had a hard time. So what? If somebody's going to give me $5 million, or do I take 3.5 in Tampa?
Okay.
I take 3.5 in Tampa.
Yeah. And they still have Ronald Jones, who's only 24 years of age, former second-round pick out of USC. And then brings us to Shaq Barrett, franchise tagged. Now what? Well,
he's going to cost a lot of money.
Okay, he's going to cost a lot of money, and he's worth a lot of money.
Yes.
And to your point, he might be worth more to them than Chris Godwin is. So is that an either-or proposition? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But watch Tom Brady restructure on the fly. He's committed to one more year at $25 million base. With his incentives, he gets like 28. But remember, he was played this year at 25, while Mahomes' average annual now is 45.
Right.
Okay? So he'll take way under market. He'll reduce, restructure, move money around, bonus money around, and it will give them some more flexibility. I think they're $30 million under the cap right now.
Yes, they are.
To sign one of those two, if not try to get both of them to stay. I believe Chris Godwin loves playing with Tom Brady, but again, he got his ring, so he might say, gee, maybe I got to get my money now.
Probably take the money and run, because if somebody's going to play, somebody's going to pay a nice big raise for him. Shaq Barrett's going to be top 5 paid outside linebacker, because Bud Dupree now with that injury is off the market.
Okay. What will Antonio Brown command on the open market?
Nothing.
I'm going to remind everybody, he's still got a civil suit hanging over his head, and they pushed it all the way back to next December before it's even going to get tried.
His only place is Tampa. He ain't going anywhere.
Okay. Well, he clicks with that quarterback. He loves that quarterback because that quarterback loves him.
Right.
So if he can get a little healthier, a little more in shape, and more in sync with the offense, yeah, I think he's back. Okay, we just talked about how young the secondary is. It's all early 20-somethings across the board. But then you look at the front side, and Levante David's 31. If you look at Sue, he's all the way up at 34. But again, would he have a year or two? Sure, he would.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And would Levante David have a couple of good? Yeah. You better believe it. JPP is 32. Would he have a couple more good years? Yeah.
JPP playing better with 3 fingers than he did with 5.
Totally agree.
He looks like a different, and it just goes to show you sometimes, Skip, being in the right system.
Yep.
Because it's not like JPP is a different player. He can go. They let him do a lot of things. They let him stand. They put his hand in the dirt. They let him drop in coverage.
Yep.
So, but he played phenomenal, and that's the key, Skip. The key to that secondary being as young as it is the pressure that up front they can generate with just 4. And when they bring an extra linebacker or bring both of those linebackers, they normally get home, and they come and do it with bad intentions. Devin White has just put his name out there for everybody to see. Moving forward for the next 3 to 4 years, I need to be in the Defensive Player of the Year running. That's how good I am. Now, I know y'all didn't vote me to the Pro Bowl. I know, and Tom, that's fine and good, Tom.
By the way, he's still 22. 22? Devin White?
You didn't put me in the Pro Bowl. You didn't put me All-Pro.
Thank
you.
But
you saw everybody, the world got an opportunity to see what I can do. And you saw it in New Orleans. You saw it in Green Bay.
You did.
You keep seeing it. Now give me my due.
I didn't see it consistently through the regular season. I told you Pro Football Focus during the regular season graded him as the 68th best linebacker.
Skip, to be as sudden as he is, sometimes he's going to have some misreads because he's getting there in a hurry. So you're going to have some of that, Skip. But somebody got those 130 tackles, those 8.5 sacks. Somebody did that. It was him for a middle linebacker to do what he's doing.
Special. Very special. Offensive line, everything to Tom Brady. You have a right tackle who's 22 years of age, and he might have turned into the best right tackle in pro football because you don't hear his name called, right? The left tackle is very good. I'm not saying he's Pro Bowl, but he's very good.
He's not Bakhtiari, but he's good.
He's good, and he's 27 years of age. And then you look through the middle of it, that Kappa who got hurt and couldn't play the last couple of games, he's still only 26. The center's only 29. So they're pretty set in the middle. And obviously Marpet is 26. So he's a big-time player. So that offensive line is going to be protecting like crazy over the next 2-3 years.
If you listen to Bruce Arians, and Gronk said it, this was a team that was ready to win. Bruce Arians said this was a team that was ready to win but didn't know how to win.
Yep.
Tom Brady gave them the confidence.
He did.
This is what it takes to win. They bought in. Gronk says, I came here, I'm looking around. This team, man, they got the players. They can win. They're ready to win. And they were. The quarterback just couldn't put them in harm's way as many times as Jameis was putting them in harm's way.
Okay, I got it. If Chris Godwin leaves, God bless him, I'm going to remind everybody that Scotty Miller, who I raved about last offseason, was really good this year. Brady loves him. He can fly. He runs a 4.3-ish 40. He got no targets last night because they didn't need him. They ran one jet sweep with him right out of the box, and it went -5, and that was the end of him. And I'm going to remind everybody, Tyler Johnson made some huge catches, especially a third down catch at New Orleans. Remember that one?
And got the PI in Green Bay.
And he got the PI in Green Bay that basically ended the game.